The alien maid's curiosity. On a massive spaceship gliding through the stars, life bustled in the corridors. The air was filled with the sounds of alien chatter and the whir of machines. Among the many crew members was Zora, a young alien maid. She had vibrant green skin, large expressive eyes, and a curious nature. She floated gracefully as she cleaned. Her job was to keep the spaceship spotless. Every day brought new adventures, and today would be no different. Zora loved exploring the ship when she had a moment of free time. She was fascinated by the human crew members, who came from a planet called Earth. Humans were unlike any species she had ever seen. They had different customs, foods, and even clothing. Zara had heard stories from her fellow aliens about how strange humans could be. Some said they were loud and messy, while others claimed they were incredibly creative. Zara wanted to learn more. As Zara moved through the ship, she listened closely to the crew's conversations. The humans often laughed and told stories about their planet. She learned that humans like to eat sweet foods, listen to music, and spend time with friends. Zara found this charming and wanted to understand their ways better. One day, while cleaning near the human quarters, Zara spotted a door labeled bathroom. She had heard some humans talk about it, but no one had explained what it was. Curious, she wondered if it was a place where humans performed a special ritual or activity. Her mind raced with possibilities. Was it a room for relaxation? A place for secret meetings? Zara had to find out. With her heart racing, she decided to investigate. She gently approached the door, her cleaning tools clinking softly as she moved. Taking a deep breath, she opened the door just a crack. The bright light inside was blinding, and she hesitated for a moment. But her curiosity pushed her to peek inside. To her surprise, the room was filled with steam, and she could see a human inside. It was Jake, a member of the crew she had heard so much about. He had short brown hair and a friendly face. Right now, he was enjoying a shower, the water cascading over his body. Zara's eyes widened as she watched him. She had never seen a human in such a vulnerable state, and the sight was both shocking and intriguing. Suddenly, Zara's cleaning tool slipped from her grasp and clattered to the ground, echoing loudly in the small space. Startled, Jake turned quickly, his eyes wide with surprise. Zara felt her face flush with embarrassment, and she immediately closed the door, but not before Jake caught a glimpse of her vibrant green skin and wide eyes. She could hear Jake laughing softly on the other side. "What was that?" Jake called out, his voice a mix of confusion and amusement. Zara felt a mix of embarrassment and excitement. She had never intended to interrupt his shower, but her curiosity had led her to this moment. Gathering her courage, Zara slowly opened the door again. Jake stood there, water dripping from his hair and body. His expression shifted from surprise to a warm smile. "Ah, hey there," Jake said, trying to lighten the mood. "I didn't expect an audience." Zara fumbled for words, trying to communicate her surprise. I was just cleaning. I didn't mean to intrude." She gestured with her hands, feeling more awkward with each passing second. Jake chuckled, the sound filling the steamy room. "No harm done. I just didn't think I'd have a visitor while showering." His laughter put Zara at ease, and she felt herself relax. Zara's curiosity got the better of her again. Why do humans take showers? Is it a special ritual? She pointed at the water, intrigued by the way it flowed and how Jake seemed to enjoy it. Jake raised an eyebrow, surprised at her question. "Well, we shower to clean ourselves. It helps us feel fresh and awake. Do you not have something like this on your planet?" Zara shook her head. "No, we have different ways of cleaning. I want to learn more about yours." She smiled, her excitement bubbling over. Jake leaned against the wall, still grinning. "Well, you're welcome to ask me anything. Just maybe not while I'm in the shower." He winked playfully, making Zara giggle. Feeling braver, Zara stepped inside the bathroom, fascinated by the colorful bottles lining the shelves. "What are these?" she asked, pointing to a bright blue bottle. That's shampoo. It helps clean our hair and makes it smell nice, Jake explained, grabbing the bottle and demonstrating how to use it. Zara watched closely, absorbing every detail. As Jake lathered his hair, Zara noticed how relaxed he seemed. She could feel the warmth of the steam wrapping around her, and she found herself fascinated by the simplicity of the moment. "Can I try?" she asked, eager to learn. Jake laughed, handing her the bottle. "Sure, just be careful, it can get slippery in here." With gentle movements, Zara squeezed some shampoo into her hand. The liquid felt strange but pleasant. She began to rub it through her hair, mimicking Jake's movements. "This is amazing. It feels so different," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. Jake smiled at her enthusiasm, appreciating her willingness to try new things. They spent the next few moments sharing stories about their cultures, while Zara experimented with the shower. She learned how to turn the water on and off, and Jake explained different grooming practices humans followed. Zara felt a strong connection growing between them. Their laughter echoed in the bathroom, and for the first time, she saw humans in a new light. They weren't just strange beings, they were individuals with their own unique habits and quirks. As Zara stepped back, she realized that she had discovered more than just a human shower. She had begun to bridge the gap between their worlds. Curiosity had led her to this unexpected friendship, and she couldn't wait to explore more about Jake and his fascinating culture. With a final smile, Zara waved goodbye and promised to return. As she floated away, her heart raced with excitement. She was eager to learn more about humans, their strange customs, and perhaps even what lay behind that mysterious bathroom door. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of her adventure. The shower surprise. Zara floated through the ship's halls, her mind racing with thoughts about her unexpected encounter with Jake. Every corner of the spaceship felt alive, but nothing intrigued her more than the human she had just met. The way he laughed and explained his customs made her heart flutter with excitement. She couldn't shake the feeling that their friendship could lead to new adventures. The next day, Zara resumed her cleaning duties, but her thoughts were still on Jake. The ship's crew moved busily around her, going about their tasks. Each time she caught sight of a human, she felt a mix of nervousness and curiosity. Would they be like Jake, friendly and welcoming? Or would they be distant and unapproachable? As she polished the floors near the human quarters, Zara glanced toward the bathroom door, the one that had led her to Jake. She remembered how he had been so relaxed, the water cascading over him, creating a cloud of steam. That moment felt magical, and she longed to learn more about him and his world. The next day, Zara resumed her cleaning duties, but her thoughts were still on Jake. The ship's crew moved busily around her, going about their tasks. Each time she caught sight of a human, she felt a mix of nervousness and curiosity. Would they be like Jake, friendly and welcoming? Or would they be distant and unapproachable? As she polished the floors near the human quarters, Zara glanced toward the bathroom door, the one that had led her to Jake. She remembered how he had been so relaxed, the water cascading over him, creating a cloud of steam. That moment felt magical, and she longed to learn more about him and his world. Just then, she heard laughter coming from the human quarters. Her heart raced, and she decided to be brave. Perhaps today was the day to see Jake again. Gathering her courage, Zara approached the door. With a gentle touch, she knocked softly, her excitement mingling with anxiety. "Who's there?" came Jake's voice, filled with warmth. "It's me, Zara," she replied, her voice a mix of eagerness and nervousness. "Can I come in?" "Of course. Just give me a second," Jake responded. Zara could hear some shuffling inside. A moment later, the door opened, revealing Jake in a simple robe, his hair still slightly damp from the shower. "Hey, you're back," he said, his eyes lighting up with recognition. "I was just thinking about you." Zara felt a rush of happiness at his words. "I wanted to learn more about humans. Yesterday was so interesting." "Come in." Jake stepped aside, allowing her to enter his quarters. The room was filled with various human items, strange gadgets, colorful books, and posters depicting Earth landscapes. Zara's eyes widened in awe. Everything felt new and exciting. "Wow, what are these?" Zara pointed at a shiny device with buttons and a screen. Jake smiled, walking over to the gadget. "This is a tablet. It helps us access information, play games, and even watch movies. Want to see?" "Yes, please," Zara exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Jake picked up the tablet and tapped the screen. Images flickered to life, displaying vibrant colors and moving pictures. Zara gasped as she watched a short clip of humans dancing, laughing, and celebrating life. "This looks like so much fun," she said, clapping her hands. Jake chuckled, enjoying her enthusiasm. "It is. Dancing is a big part of human culture. We express our emotions through music and movement." He demonstrated a simple dance move, his feet shuffling to an imaginary beat. Zara couldn't help but laugh at his playful antics. "Show me how," she insisted, eager to join in. Jake, still smiling, took her hands and guided her through a few simple steps. As they danced together in the small space, laughter filled the room. Zara felt lighter, the joy of the moment washing over her. She could hardly believe she was dancing with a human, something she had never imagined would happen. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed through the ship, signaling an announcement over the intercom. "All crew members, please report to the main deck for a briefing," the voice said. "Looks like we have to go," Jake said, pulling away slightly. "But I'd love to show you more about humans after the briefing. There's so much to explore." Zara nodded eagerly, not wanting their time to end. "Yes, I want to learn everything." They both hurried to the main deck, joining the gathering crowd of crew members. Zara felt a bit nervous among the humans, but remembered Jake's warm smile. He stood beside her, offering support. As the captain began the briefing, Zara listened carefully, trying to understand the human way of communication. They discussed their mission and the importance of working together as a crew. Zara marveled at how passionate the humans were about their goals. They seemed to thrive on teamwork and cooperation. After the briefing, Zara found herself surrounded by humans who were chatting excitedly about the mission. Some glanced her way, and Zara felt a mix of curiosity and apprehension. She had always been taught that humans were different, but she saw their friendly expressions and laughter. "Zara, come meet my friends," Jake called out, breaking her reverie. He grabbed her hand and led her toward a group of humans. They greeted her with smiles, and Zara felt her heart race. "Hey, everyone. This is Zara. She's an alien maid," Jake introduced her, beaming with pride. "Hi, Zara. Welcome," said a tall human with bright blue eyes. "I'm Mia. Jake talks about you all the time." "Really?" Zara asked, surprised. "What did he say?" "He said you're curious about humans. It's great to see an ally and hear," Maya responded, her enthusiasm infectious. Zara felt a wave of warmth wash over her. "I am. I want to learn everything I can." The group started asking her questions about her planet and culture. Zara felt like a star as she shared stories about her home, explaining their unique ways of life. They listened with fascination, and she loved every moment of it. As the conversations continued, Zara began to feel more comfortable among the humans. She realized they were not so different after all. They laughed, they shared stories, and they were all eager to learn from one another. In that moment, Zara felt a connection forming, not just with Jake, but with the entire crew. After the meeting, Jake suggested they return to his quarters. "Let's continue our dance lessons. I want to teach you more." Zara grinned, her heart fluttering with excitement. "I'd love that." As they made their way back, Zara couldn't help but feel grateful for her curiosity. It had led her to Jake, who opened up a whole new world for her. Their friendship was blossoming, and she couldn't wait to see where this journey would take them next. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of an extraordinary adventure, one that would change the way she saw not just humans, but the universe itself. Exploring cultural differences. The following days aboard the ship felt like a whirlwind of discovery for Zora. Each moment was filled with new experiences and lessons about the human world, all thanks to Jake. He had become her guide, leading her through the intricate maze of human customs, traditions, and most importantly, the joy of being with friends. After their dance lesson, Jake introduced Zora to various human activities. He explained the importance of music and art in human life. One afternoon, he brought her to a small recreational area on the ship where they could listen to music and draw. The walls were lined with colorful murals made by the crew, each telling a story of their adventures. "This is amazing," Zora exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's like art tells a story without using words." Jake nodded, smiling. "Exactly. Art is a way for humans to express our feelings and thoughts. Would you like to try drawing something?" Zora's heart raced. She had never had the chance to create art like this before. "Yes, but what should I draw?" "Draw whatever inspires you," Jake encouraged. "Maybe something from your home planet." Zora thought for a moment, remembering the lush landscapes and vibrant creatures of her world. She began to sketch a magnificent tree with swirling branches and glowing fruits, inspired by the beauty she had known all her life. As she drew, she felt a connection to her home, and her heart swelled with pride. "Wow, that's beautiful," Jake exclaimed as he watched her work. "You have a real talent for this." Zora blushed at his compliment. "Thank you. It feels good to express myself in this way." After some time, they shared their drawings. Jake had created a lively scene of humans dancing together, their faces filled with joy. Zora admired his talent and felt inspired to learn more about how humans expressed emotions through art. "Can you teach me more about human music?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "I want to understand how it makes you feel." Jake beamed at her enthusiasm. "Absolutely. Let's listen to some music together." He selected a lively tune, and as the melodies filled the room, Zora felt her heart beat in rhythm with the sound. "Music can evoke many feelings," Jake explained, swaying to the beat. "It can make us happy, sad, excited, or even nostalgic. Each song tells a story." Zora listened intently, letting the music wash over her. She felt an overwhelming sense of joy, as if she were experiencing human emotions for the first time. It's incredible how a sound can touch our hearts. As the days passed, Zora and Jake continued to bond over their love for music and art. They created their own little world on the spaceship, a space where their differences melted away, and curiosity brought them closer together. One afternoon, while lounging on a cozy couch in Jake's quarters, Zora grew bold with her questions. "Jake, what do humans fear the most?" Jake paused, looking thoughtful. "I think humans fear the unknown. Just like any other being, we often worry about what we don't understand." "Does that mean you fear me?" Zora asked, her heart pounding at the thought. "Not at all," Jake replied quickly, his tone sincere. "I think you're amazing. You have opened my eyes to new possibilities. I'm not afraid of you. I'm excited to learn from you." Zora felt relieved and grateful for his words. "Thank you, Jake. That means a lot to me." In that moment, they both understood that their friendship was built on trust and a shared desire to explore the world around them. They had each become a bridge to understanding the other's culture, and that was a beautiful thing. As time went on, Zora started to share more about her own culture. She spoke of the rich traditions of her people, the stories passed down through generations, and the ways they celebrated life. "We have festivals that last for days. We dance, sing, and feast together. It's a time of joy and unity." Jake listened intently, fascinated by her stories. "I wish I could see that. It sounds like so much fun." "Maybe one day you can visit my home planet," Zora suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You'd love it." Jake smiled at the thought. "I'd be honored to visit, and you can experience a human festival too. We have lots of them throughout the year." The idea of experiencing a human festival thrilled Zara. She couldn't wait to see how humans celebrated life and created memories together. One evening, as they watched the stars through the spaceship's observation deck, Zara felt a sense of wonder wash over her. "Do you think humans and aliens can ever truly understand each other?" she asked, looking at Jake. "I believe so," Jake replied, his voice steady. "Understanding comes from willingness to learn and appreciate each other's differences. We just have to keep talking and sharing." Zara nodded, feeling the surge of hope. They were building a friendship that transcended their differences, and that made everything seem possible. As they continued to explore each other's cultures, Zara realized that they were not just learning about one another. They were forging a bond that could change the way their worlds saw each other. Together, they were breaking down barriers and building a future of understanding. Little did they know, their friendship would lead them to face challenges that would test their courage and strength. But for now, they were content in the warmth of their connection, ready to embrace the adventures that lay ahead. A day of fun and games. One bright morning, Zara woke up with a sense of excitement bubbling inside her. Today was special. Jake had planned a day filled with fun games to celebrate their growing friendship. The spaceship had a recreation area, and it was the perfect setting for laughter and adventure. "Are you ready for some human games?" Jake asked as he entered the common area, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Zara couldn't contain her excitement. "Absolutely. What are we playing?" Jake grinned and held up a colorful box. "This is a game called Board Games. It's a strategic game where you move pieces around a board. But first, I want to show you something else." He led Zara to a large screen on the wall. "This is a virtual reality setup. We can enter different worlds and play games together. Would you like to try?" Zara gasped. "That sounds amazing. What can we do?" Jake explained. "We can explore distant planets, fight dragons, or even race cars. The possibilities are endless. Just put on these special glasses, and you'll see." Zara took the glasses from Jake, her heart racing with anticipation. Once she put them on, the world transformed around her. She found herself standing on a vibrant alien landscape, filled with towering trees and bright flowers. Jake stood next to her, looking just as amazed. "Welcome to the world of Fantasia," he announced dramatically. "Let's go on an adventure." As they explored the colorful landscape, Zara felt a thrill like never before. She had always dreamed of visiting other worlds, and now she was living that dream alongside her friend. They laughed and danced through fields of shimmering flowers, their hearts full of joy. After a while, they encountered a virtual creature, a giant blue dragon with sparkling scales. "Oh wow!" Zara exclaimed. "Can we ride it?" Jake nodded eagerly. "Let's try." They climbed onto the dragon's back, and with a roar, it took off into the sky. Zara clung to Jake, feeling the wind rush through her hair. It was exhilarating. They soared over breathtaking landscapes, mountains, and oceans, feeling free as birds. "This is incredible," Zara shouted, her voice filled with excitement. "I can't believe we can do this together." As they landed, they realized it was time to try something different. Jake suggested they play a traditional board game. "It's a little different, but I think you'll like it." They moved to a table, and Jake set up a colorful board with pieces in various shapes. "This game is called Monopoly. The goal is to buy properties and collect money." Zara watched closely as Jake explained the rules. "It may seem complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun." As they played, Zara's competitive spirit came to life. She quickly learned how to buy properties and negotiate trades with Jake. "I want to buy that blue property," she said, pointing at the board. "What will you trade for it?" Jake laughed. "You're a quick learner. How about I give you 2 red properties for it?" "Deal." Zara replied, her heart racing with excitement. They exchanged properties and laughed at their playful banter, both thoroughly enjoying the game. Hours flew by as they played, filled with laughter and friendly competition. They shared stories, revealed strategies, and celebrated their victories together. In those moments, Zara felt a sense of belonging. She was no longer just an alien maid. She was Jake's friend. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Jake suggested a final game. How about a friendly competition of charades? It's a game where we act out a word or phrase, and the other person has to guess it. Zara was intrigued. That sounds fun, but how do we act it out? Jake demonstrated by pretending to swim, flailing his arms and splashing around. See, I'm acting out swimming. Now, guess what I am? Zara giggled, her eyes sparkling with amusement. You're swimming. Exactly. Jake cheered, clapping his hands. Now it's your turn. Zara thought for a moment and decided to act out flying. She spread her arms wide and pretended to soar through the air, mimicking the dragon they had ridden earlier. Jake watched, his eyes widening in delight. Are you a bird? He guessed, laughing. No, Zara said, shaking her head. I'm flying like the dragon. Jake erupted into laughter. That's fantastic. You're great at this. They took turns acting out various words, from animals to activities, each trying to guess what the other was portraying. The room was filled with laughter, and the bond between them grew even stronger. As the day came to a close, Zara felt a warmth in her heart. She had experienced the joy of friendship in a way she never expected. She had learned not just about human games, but about the beauty of sharing moments and creating memories together. Sitting on the couch, Jake turned to Zara with a smile. Today was amazing. I had so much fun with you. Me too, Zara replied, her eyes shining with happiness. Thank you for introducing me to your world, Jake. I've never felt so alive. Jake grinned, his heart full. And thank you for showing me the beauty of your culture, Zara. I feel like we're learning so much from each other. As they shared a comfortable silence, both knew that this was only the beginning of their adventures together. Their friendship would continue to blossom, filled with curiosity, laughter, and the promise of more unforgettable moments. The challenge of trust. The next few weeks aboard the spaceship were filled with laughter, games, and learning. Zara and Jake had grown closer, their friendship blossoming like a vibrant flower in the warm sunlight. However, Zara couldn't shake off a lingering worry about how the rest of the crew would perceive her. She had seen their curious glances, and while most were friendly, some looked wary. One day, while sharing a meal, Zara voiced her concerns to Jake. Do you think the others are afraid of me? I can feel their eyes on me sometimes. Jake looked thoughtful as he took a bite of his sandwich. I think it's normal for people to feel uncertain about someone new, especially if they've never met an alien before. But you're amazing, and I believe they'll come to see that. But how can I make them understand that I'm not a threat? Zara asked, her voice tinged with anxiety. I want to be accepted and show them that we can be friends. Jake smiled reassuringly. How about we host a gathering? We can invite the crew, and you can show them a bit of your culture. Maybe then they'll see how wonderful you are. Zara's eyes brightened at the idea. That sounds great, but what should I share? Why not teach them about your home planet's traditions? Jake suggested. You could share a dance, or even some food. Zara nodded, feeling a sense of purpose. Yes, I can prepare a traditional dish and teach them a simple dance. It will be a fun way to connect with everyone. As the day approached, Zara worked tirelessly to prepare. She chose to make a popular dish from her home planet called Zerua, a colorful stew made with various ingredients, including vibrant vegetables and spices that made it both delicious and aromatic. Jake helped her gather the necessary ingredients from the ship's supplies, and they spent the afternoon cooking together. The smell of the simmering stew filled the common area, and Zara felt her excitement grow. She hoped that the crew would love her dish as much as she did. Jake set up a space for the gathering, arranging chairs in a circle and hanging decorations to create a festive atmosphere. When the time came, Zara felt a mix of nervousness and anticipation. She watched as crew members entered, some smiling warmly while others observed her with caution. Jake greeted each one, introducing them to Zara with enthusiasm. "Everyone, this is Zara. She's an amazing cook and has some incredible stories to share about her home planet." Zara smiled shyly, her heart racing. "Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy this dish I prepared. It's called Zirua." As they sat down to eat, Zara served each person a bowl of the steaming stew. The crew members hesitated at first, unsure of what to expect. But as they took their first bites, their expressions changed from uncertainty to delight. "This is amazing," one crew member exclaimed. "What's in it?" Zara beamed with pride. "It's made with vegetables from my home planet and a special blend of spices. I'm so glad you like it." As the meal continued, Zara shared stories about her home, the beauty of her planet, and the traditions of her people. She spoke of the festivals they held, the songs they sang, and the dances they performed. Slowly, she began to see the curiosity in their eyes grow. After the meal, it was time for the dance. Jake stood up and encouraged everyone to join in. "Zara is going to teach us a simple dance. Let's show her that we can learn together." Zara felt a wave of nervousness wash over her. She had never danced in front of so many people before. But as she looked around and saw their smiling faces, she took a deep breath and nodded. "Okay, it's a simple dance called the Karakai. Just follow my lead." She began to demonstrate the steps, her body moving gracefully to the rhythm of an imaginary beat. At first, the crew members were hesitant, but as Zara encouraged them with her infectious energy, they began to join in. Laughter filled the air as they stumbled through the steps, each person trying their best to mimic Zara's movements. She felt the joy radiating from them, and her heart swelled with happiness. After a few minutes, the crew members started to get the hang of it. They began to laugh and cheer each other on, and Zara felt a sense of belonging that she had longed for since she arrived on the ship. "See, you're all doing great," she encouraged, her voice full of warmth. "Just have fun with it." As the dance continued, Zara realized that her worries were melting away. The crew was no longer strangers. They were her friends, sharing in the joy of learning something new together. When the dance finally came to an end, everyone was out of breath but smiling. Jake clapped his hands and grinned at Zara. "You did it. You brought everyone together." The crew members cheered and praised Zara, their eyes shining with appreciation. "Thank you, Zara. This was so much fun." Overwhelmed with emotion, Zara felt a tear escape her eye. "I'm so glad you all enjoyed it. Thank you for giving me a chance." In that moment, Zara knew that she had not only introduced them to her culture, but had also built a bridge of trust between herself and the crew. They had come together to share food, laughter, and dance, and it was a beautiful step toward understanding each other. As the gathering came to an end, Zara felt lighter than air. She had faced her fears and emerged stronger, surrounded by friends who had embraced her with open hearts. This day would forever remain etched in her memory, marking the beginning of a new chapter in her life. A chapter filled with friendship, trust, and the promise of many more adventures to come. The unforeseen challenge. The days that followed the successful gathering were filled with laughter and friendship. Zara had won the hearts of the crew, and they began to treat her as one of their own. But just as she settled into her new life, an unexpected challenge arose. One afternoon, while Zara was tidying up the common area, she overheard a conversation between two crew members. They spoke in hushed tones, their expressions serious. "I don't know, man. The captain isn't too keen on having aliens on board," one said, glancing over his shoulder as if he feared Zara would hear. "What do you mean?" The other replied. "Zara has proven herself. She's a great asset to the team." "Yeah, But you know how the captain is. He's traditional. I heard he's thinking about removing her from the ship. Zara's heart sank as she listened. The warmth of friendship she had felt began to fade, replaced by a cold grip of fear. What if the captain really did want her gone? She had finally found a place where she belonged, and the thought of losing it made her stomach churn. Determined to find out more, Zara decided to speak with Jake. He was her closest friend, and she trusted him to help her navigate this difficult situation. She found him in the engineering bay, tinkering with some equipment. "Jake," she said, her voice shaky, "can I talk to you for a moment?" He looked up, concern etched on his face. "Of course, Zara. What's wrong?" Taking a deep breath, she recounted what she had overheard. "I heard 2 crew members talking about the captain wanting to remove me from the ship. Is it true? Am I in danger of being sent away?" Jake's expression darkened. "I had no idea they felt that way. But I promise you, I'll talk to the captain. You have to know how much we all care about you." Zara felt a mixture of relief and dread. "Thank you, Jake, but I don't want to cause any trouble. I just want to fit in and help." Jake placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're doing great. Just be yourself. That's all anyone can ask." Encouraged by Jake's words, Zara decided to take matters into her own hands. She would confront the captain directly. If she could show him how valuable she was, maybe he would change his mind. The next day, she gathered her courage and approached the captain's office. Captain McAllister was known for his strict demeanor, but Zara knew she had to try. She knocked lightly on the door. "Enter," came a firm voice. Zara stepped inside, her heart pounding. The captain sat behind his desk, reviewing some paperwork. He looked up, his expression unreadable. "Zara," he said, surprised. "What can I do for you?" "Captain McAllister," she began, her voice steady but soft. "I wanted to talk to you about my role on the ship. I've heard some crew members expressing concerns about my presence here." The captain leaned back in his chair, studying her intently. "Gun, I understand that I'm not what you're used to, but I want to assure you that I'm here to help. I've learned so much from everyone, and I believe I can contribute in meaningful ways." The captain sighed, rubbing his temples. "Zara, it's not that I doubt your abilities. It's just, having an alien aboard is unconventional. I've been in command for years, and this is a big change for me." Zara felt her heart drop. "I'm not trying to disrupt anything, sir. I just want to be a part of this crew. I care about everyone here and want to learn and grow alongside you." For a moment, there was silence. The captain seemed to consider her words carefully. Finally, he spoke. "I appreciate your honesty, Zara. I can see how much effort you've put into integrating with the crew. It's clear that you've made a positive impact." Zara's hope soared. "So, does that mean I can stay?" The captain nodded slowly. "Yes, but I need you to understand that there will be challenges ahead. Some crew members may still have reservations. You must be patient and continue to prove yourself." "Thank you, Captain," Zara exclaimed, relief flooding her. "I will do everything I can to show them that I belong." As she left the captain's office, a wave of determination washed over her. She would not give up. She had found a family in this crew, and she would do whatever it took to earn their trust. In the following days, Zara made a concerted effort to connect with each crew member individually. She shared her stories and learned about their lives, finding common ground through shared experiences. She started organizing small activities, like movie nights and cooking sessions, where everyone could gather, laugh, and bond. Slowly but surely, she began to break down the barriers of doubt and fear that some had about her presence. One evening, during a movie night, the crew watched a classic human film filled with adventure and humor. Zara laughed alongside them, her heart warming as she felt the camaraderie around her. As the credits rolled, one crew member turned to her and said, "Zara, you really bring a special energy to the ship. I'm glad you're here." Those words made Zara's heart soar. She realized that her efforts were paying off, and she was finally being accepted. Later that night, as she lay in her bunk, Zara reflected on the journey she had taken. From the moment she had stepped aboard the ship, she had faced challenges that seemed daunting. But through friendship, determination, and a willingness to connect, she had overcome them. Yes, we have to show the captain. This could lead us to incredible discoveries, Jake agreed, carefully storing the artifact in his backpack. As they made their way back to the shuttle, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. The possibilities seemed endless, and she felt more confident than ever about her place in the crew. When they returned to the ship, the crew greeted them with a mix of excitement and curiosity. Captain McAllister listened intently as Zara and Jake shared their story, presenting the artifact and the holographic map. "This is remarkable," the captain said, studying the coordinates. "This could open up new frontiers for our mission. Great work, both of you." Zara's heart swelled with pride. She had taken a chance, faced her fears, and had proven her worth to the crew. The captain's approval felt like a badge of honor. As the ship prepared to chart a course for the coordinates, Zara reflected on how far she had come. From an uncertain alien maid to a valuable member of the crew, she had embraced every challenge and grown in ways she never thought possible. Later that night, the crew gathered for a celebratory meal. Laughter echoed through the ship as they shared stories and plans for their next adventure. Zara felt a warmth enveloping her, surrounded by friends who had become family. As she raised her glass in a toast, Zara realized that she had found her true place in the universe, a place where curiosity, friendship, and adventure thrived. With her heart full of hope and excitement, she looked toward the stars, ready for whatever awaited her in the vastness of space.